have our delicious amatriciana. Amatriciana. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Cooking with Tea. As you can see, we have a special guest again, Chef Austin Cobb, and today we're going to be whipping up
a gnudi alla matriciana.
Alla matriciana. You gotta break your wrists.
Mamma mia.
This is actually the first pasta Chef Austin ever taught me how to make back in the day when we were working at the Bird. So This is an honor to that, an honor to where we are in our journey today, and an honor to delicious, amazing food.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gnudi is essentially like a naked ravioli. So basically we take a ravioli filling, we do a semolina crust in it, super fragile and delicate, and we're serving it over this beautiful amatriciana tomato-based guanciale sauce. Pairs together well. You got a nice balanced bite. It's everything you want, nothing you don't.
Exactly, 100%. I mean, let's get into the tea, shall we?
First things first, we have our guanciale right here.
What is guanciale?
Guanciale is cured pork jowl. So they take the cheeks of the pig and they cure it. It has a lot of fat, a little bit of meat in there.
Deliciousness.
Yep, deliciousness. Yep.
Funk.
So we're gonna take that, and you still have the skin on it, so we're gonna clean that up a little bit. There's gonna be a little bit of trim. You can find this at any fine Italian stores. And
all that fat we're using, we're gonna try to render that out, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah, we're gonna dice it up kind of small, render out the fat, and we're gonna build those flavors.
Not everyone can find guanciale though.
That's a good point. It's not easy to find guanciale. You can't go down to your local supermarket and find it. You kind of have to go to a specific Italian store for it.
Specialty.
So if you can't find the guanciale, you can substitute it with pancetta, or you can really bastardize it and use bacon or something else like that. You can do it. Just don't tell your Italian friends, okay?
Don't let them know. Definitely don't let Chef Cobb know.
It's still a really tasty product. So here we go. We're gonna just do a small dice on that, just so we can really get that fat rendered out.
Beautiful. I mean, look at this beautiful, clean,
show 'em, Tiana.
Delicious fat. Like, this is the only kind of pork fat I want to eat, to be honest with you. So just render this on out.
A lot of flavor in there.
Deliciousness.
Okay, we're gonna give that a little dice.
Beauty. Let's get into the knife work.
That's right. Shazam.
Bada boom, bada bing.
We talked about it before. Italian food's really simple, but really tasty. It's all about the technique and the beautiful product right here. So what we have over here too, while I'm dicing the guanciale, we have these beautiful whole canned San Marzano tomatoes. San Marzano is a type of tomato from Italy. They're kind of elongated. It looks like a skinny Roma tomato, and they're indigenous to Italia, and they're super tasty, and this is what we're gonna use for the recipe. So the technique I like to use is I like to take them whole, and then I like to squeeze them with my hands, right? So you can put on a glove or wash your hands and get in there, and you just crush it. But I prefer to crush them myself versus buying crushed tomatoes. I'm not sure why. It's just how I was taught, and that's how the nonas do it.
That's a great enough excuse for me.
Yeah, however the nonas do it.
How you were taught is great enough for me.
Yeah, it just gives it like, I don't know, like a tangible mouthfeel. So we got our guanciale, nice and diced up. It's okay too if your dice isn't perfect. You know, it's a rustic dish. You can get a little rustic with it. Here we go, our guanciale right here.
Beautiful dice.
That's looking good. We're gonna chop it up, set aside. Thank you, Tiana.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Okay, next, we're gonna do onions. Onions in this sauce is a little controversial. Some do, some don't. I do, because that's good. And
onions are good for you.
Onions are good, and it adds a little bit of sweetness too. So I like to take them, half them, and just give a nice slice.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna add that sweetness, because what we have here is fattiness, acid, right? We have some salty going on here. That's gonna round it all out.
I think so. That's gonna create a nice balanced bite.
Chef, how come this sauce doesn't have any garlic in it?
Like, as much as Italians use garlic all the time, you gotta have restraint. Not every dish needs garlic, you know what I mean? So this is just one of those.
As a Filipino,
you disagree.
Black woman, everything gets a little garlic, honey. Especially the Filipino side of me is like, where's the garlic at?
And this is one of the first sauces I ever learned as a young cook back in the day, 20 years ago. And my chef was like, this is it. It's guanciale, it's tomatoes, it's onions. He adds a little bit of chili flake, and that's it. E basta.
I feel like it kind of exercises simplicity.
It does. And it makes it like approachable too. Like if you're at home, you want to have a dinner party, you know, you're feeling lazy, but you want pasta and you want to make a yummy sauce. This is a very approachable, yummy sauce that you can make in an unintimidating fashion.
Love that for us.
I don't know about you, Tiana,
Yes,
but when I'm cooking food, I like to have a glass of wine.
I love a glass of wine all the time. All right, vino me, please.
Yeah, the key to any good dinner is good company.
Good vino.
Good music. Good vibes.
Period.
And good food.
Delicious food.
So we got almost all those accomplished. Now we just need the wine. Absolutely. This is a Negro Amaro, and it's a wine from Puglia, Italy, in the south of wine. It's
the
red
region
wine
that we spent our time in Italy when we were doing Ciao.
Yeah, so it's kind of a tip of the cap to that. And I think it's nice and delicious. It's very tannicky, and I think this red's gonna pair nicely with our amatriciana because you have the red sauce, you got a little fatty pork
with the guanciale.
Yeah, I think it's gonna cut through it all. I think it's gonna be, I don't know,
give it a try.
Some yummy vino. Let's check it out. I like the old world wines.
I like tannins too.
Yeah.
I like that newspapery, dry, like
newspapery.
Like I want my mouth to dry out.
Yeah.
And I just want to go back for another sip that's gonna also dry my mouth out.
Cheers.
Cheers. Let's give it a try.
Here's a newspaper. Newspaper. Paperboy. I love it.
This is great. This is perfect.
Great. Yeah, it's cool.
All right.
All right. So we are making our matriciana. We're gonna start with our diced guanciale. I'm just gonna put a smidge of olive oil in there.
Woo!
Just to kind of help it along.
Okay.
It's already a pretty fatty product, so you don't need a whole lot.
Sure is.
Okay. So we got that in our pan.
Lovely.
We're gonna turn that up to like a medium high. We're gonna start rendering around our fat in the guanciale.
Beauty. So what's the tea with rendering versus browning?
That's a good question, Tiana. So what we're doing is we're rendering the fat. So we're not necessarily getting color on it to create texture. We're just rendering out the fat. So what rendering out means, it means like you're letting it release. Because the guanciale is mostly fat, so you want to release that fat into the pan, which turns it into a liquid.
And it almost just completely loses its structure, right?
Yeah, like it's turning translucent right now, and it's like transforming into a whole different beast.
So it's almost like disintegrating.
Yeah, liquefying.
Liquefying.
We're changing the chemical structures.
Right, because of the temperature.
Now we've rendered out our guanciale. Now we're gonna add our sliced onions in there. We're gonna cook those down together in that fat.
There's this beautiful aged funkiness
You smell
that
the
I'm
funk, right?
smelling right now, and it's just absolutely divine.
Okay, cool. So basically, now we have our onions in the guanciale, and they're all cooking down together. They're really happy, and we're gonna cook that down heavily until it's almost caramelized.
Okay.
So we're gonna caramelize the onions in the pork fat.
I feel like the guanciale fat really just kind of like soaked into the onion.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. It just kind of like.
Yeah, you can see the fat kind of bubbling in there.
Beautiful.
It looks tasty. We're gonna add our crushed red tomatoes to this.
Beauty. Yum.
Crushed, nice and rustic. You wanna give that a stir, Tiana?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Wow.
Yep. Okay, we're gonna add a couple bay leaves. I have to use fresh bay leaves. They just have a little bit more.
Only kind to use.
You know? Smell
fresh. Only kind to use.
Put 2 of those in. They're really strong. 2 will do ya.
Yep.
I'm also gonna add a pinch of chili flakes. I don't know how authentic this is, but I like it.
I like some heat.
Yeah.
Heat is always good.
I'm a spicy dude.
Me too.
So I'm
not a spicy dude, but I'm spicy.
Yeah.
There we go. We like a little heat.
Tiana.
Yes, chef.
Quit having a boring life. Quit having a boring sauce.
Heard ya.
Let's go. Okay, cool. So now we're letting that all together. We're gonna let that cook down for at least an hour or 2. Just kind of low and slow and let all those flavors come together.
Yes, chef.
You ready to make some gnudi?
Let's get into it.
Yeah, pasta time. Let's go.
Pasta time.
Let's do it.
With pasta.
So it starts off with your fresh ricotta cheese.
Yes, chef.
It's very important you source out a high-end ricotta cheese. Got to be smooth, got to be creamy. If you can go down to your local Italian store and get the authentic Italian ricotta, has a whole different vibe, whole different mouthfeel.
This
very
is
creamy.
Italian ricotta, by the way.
This is Italian ricotta.
Yes.
Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take an egg yolk, just the yolk. You're gonna crack it, separate it. Okay, cool. So we have our egg yolk right there. Boom.
Yum.
All right, T, give it a pinch of salt.
Yes, chef. Little pinchy pinch. Chef's pinch.
All right, let's hit it with some Parmesan cheese. You want to grate that in there for me?
Yes, chef.
I like to use a microplane with my Parmesan. That way it incorporates fully.
Do Gnudis usually always use 2 types of cheese?
You know what? I'm not sure. This is my Gnudi recipe. I'm not sure like how OG, how authentic it is, but I can tell you what, I've never had a better Gnudi in my life, so.
This actually is the first pasta you ever taught me how to make.
Really?
Yes.
I love that.
The Gnudi.
A full circle. We're gonna take our whisk, and we're just gonna whisk that up and incorporate it into one kind of business.
One business.
One business,
Not
one love,
separate
one
ones.
business. Mm-hmm. Super simple.
Here for it.
Okay, so now we have our nice, nice mix right there, right? Okay.
Okay.
So we have our piping bag right here.
Oui.
You're gonna need a piping bag for this recipe. Find a friend, let them help you out. Put that in there like that. Okay.
Do people ever make this without a piping bag?
I don't know. I guess you could. You'd have to figure out a new technique with it. But
okay.
I use a piping bag. It just makes it really easy, and you'll see.
For sure.
You'll see why. This was like a recipe that I kind of reverse engineered.
Okay.
You know, when I first made Gnudi, I would put flour in it. It did like, I think the classic ones like flour, you put a little bit of spinach in there, right? And then I figured out you don't need to do any of that. You can just roll it in semolina, and that kind of gets the job done. So put it in your piping bag, and you want to squeeze.
Little air bubbles out?
Yeah, get the air bubbles out. You can kind of pinch it a little bit, pinch the air out, squeeze it down. Get the air bubbles out of the top.
Okay.
Okay. Then you got your piping bag right here.
Yes, chef.
Get a little bit of butcher twine.
Okay.
Snip.
You like to do twine on the bag?
I do. I'm a bag twiner.
Okay.
Are you?
Sometimes, depends.
Yeah,
I like to tie the bag.
Wait till you see this technique. It's gonna blow your mind.
All right.
Hold it in your hand like this and just go.
I've seen that. Old switcheroo.
I've seen that. Show me something I haven't seen. Okay.
Yes.
Tying the knots like that. I like to keep it tight because you look good, you cook good.
I see why you like to do it this way.
Yeah.
A little bit more soigné.
Swan yizzles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is more soigné.
Right?
Yes, chef.
Okay, so you're gonna get some kind of container. This works nice. Maybe a quarter sheet tray or a half sheet tray or like a Pyrex clear baking pan, right?
Yes.
This one looks really nice. This one's fun. It's ceramic, okay? And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your semolina and you're gonna make a little bed of semolina, right? Like probably, you gotta be really generous with it.
Right.
Like a 1/4 inch thick.
Okay.
Okay. Let's do it all. Boom.
Oui.
Okay, then you're gonna take your piping bag and you wanna cut it like, I don't know, what is that, like a 1/2 inch to you? Bigger, yeah, like, right? You want it about the size of like a large marshmallow. It's kind of what we're looking for.
Okay.
We're looking for a large marshmallow size.
Heard that?
Okay, so I think it's like right about there.
Beautiful.
Beauteous, right?
Okay.
And then what you're gonna do is, with your piping bag, you're gonna lay it out and make a line. And what the key is to a good piping bag comes from your diaphragm. It's really weird, right? But like you squeeze your abs when you do it, and you squeeze the bag with your abs.
So you're working out.
I'll tell you, it sounds weird, but watch. You just see, you go like this, and you go, and you take your piping bag, and you just go like that, diaphragm.
Chef, what?
Squeeze from your diaphragm. You wanna try one?
What do you mean squeeze from my diaphragm,
Like
chef?
watch, like when you do it, use your, like squeeze your tummy. Let's do 3 lines. A little thicker next time.
Thicker.
Yeah, like that's your example, chef.
With examples again. Segue back to the other clip. I'm gonna roll them out, and
do
who
it.
wants to roll? I'll roll these out, Tootsie Roll style, and then we'll.
You're getting a little big on those.
Yes, chef. Those are bigger. Sorry.
That's your example.
Yes, chef. Oh my gosh. Do you remember when you used to do that to me?
That's what I do. And then your last one, don't try this at home. Actually, do try it at home. I'm telling you, it comes from your diaphragm. Next thing we do,
Yes, chef.
we have our cheese piped out,
Yes,
our
chef.
Gnudi mix, and we're gonna take it with more semolina.
Right
and we're
on
just
top.
gonna slightly dust it like that.
Okay.
Okay?
So you're just giving it a nice light coat.
Yeah, just a light coating.
Heard that?
Okay, and then that's that.
Okay.
And then the next thing we're gonna do
Yes, chef.
is we're gonna cut it with our scissors,
Yes, chef.
with our kitchen skeezies.
Yes, chef.
Okay, check it out. So
Yes.
I like to do it like this, and my technique is kind of from the top. So I kind of go, boom. Like I was saying, like
So you're portioning it out right now.
Yeah, so they're like, they look like large marshmallows, right?
Yes, chef.
Okay, and I kind of give it a little bit of snip to it, like with attitude. That way they kind of fly around and they're not all stuck together.
Heard that. Be confident. Have some confidence when you're doing it.
Yep, snip with purpose. Okay.
Yes.
Boom. And kind of make sure they're all separated so they don't stick.
Yes, chef.
Okay, and this is a little technique I learned because they're really soft right now because you have the ricotta cheese been out, you've been working with it. So we're gonna put it in the refrigerator for 1 hour.
Heard that.
And what that does is it kind of just tightens up the cheese and gets it a little bit colder and easy to work with.
Yes, chef.
So just do a nice little coating like that, just a little bit. And let's pop it in the fridge for 1 hour.
Heard.
Pop it in there.
Got it.
Boom.
Could I pop it in the freezer?
No. Fabulous. We're back at it. It's been about an hour. We're gonna go grab that Gnudi out of the fridge. It's kind of firmed up a little bit. Looking nice. You know, this kind of reminds me like little peeps during Easter time, the little marshmallows covered in the yellow business. Okay, cool. So now that we have our Gnudi all cut and assembled, they're all portioned out.
Yes, chef.
Here's the finishing technique. So what you're gonna wanna do is, you're gonna wanna take your semolina, put it in your hand. I'm right-handed, so I like to roll in my left. Yep, you got that? Be generous. Okay, there you go, perfect. Put the Gnudi in your hand and just kind of form it into a light ball. It doesn't have to be like all crazy. You just kind of want to like...
Rustic.
Yeah, that's perfect, yep. You don't want to overwork it. You don't want to fold it over either. You kind of just want to dent in the corners so it's kind of spherical.
What do you mean by fold it over?
Like if it goes boom like that.
Yeah, like and it creates like a
pocket of semolina.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So it's kind of just nice and light and gentle. Put them back in there. So you have these little ricotta spheres, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, see how you're getting the little seams? That's the folded. Yeah, don't do that.
Yes, chef. Look at my other two. They're fine.
Yes, when you do it just really gentle, just like like very gentle.
Heard.
Hey, so Tiana.
Yes, chef.
How's it feel after all those years cooking together again, reunited?
Honestly, I kind of feel like, to be honest with you, I don't really feel like that much time has passed.
I was gonna say that.
Like, I feel like it's kind of like we're just hanging out again, cooking food again. Like,
I love that.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And you have good energy and you're always fun to cook with, so.
Yeah, for sure, I agree.
Super nostalgic.
I agree. It feels good though. It's like a full circle moment for sure. Especially with these Gnudis. I remember seeing you bust out these Gnudis like nobody's business.
They're so tasty. They're
like you would make so many of these though.
Oh yeah.
Like so many.
Sell them like hotcakes. It was my baby.
Yeah, I know. You're proud of these Gnudis.
I was proud. I still am. So then you kind of make like your little row, right? A couple rows of these guys, right? Doesn't have to be all crazy. Okay.
The chef.
So now we have our semolina, right? They're our little peeps rolled into
beautiful.
Peeps have you into spheres, and then we put them lined up in the pan. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is you take more semolina and you kind of encapsulate them, right? Just like that.
Make sure they're extra coated because we did a light dusting and now it's getting a lot more on there. This is gonna help like add that crunch.
Create the shell.
The outside.
So basically what we're doing now is the wet ricotta cheese is sticking to the semolina. And when it sticks to the semolina, that's what's going to create the shell for the pasta, right?
Chef.
It's really a trippy recipe, but
And can you reuse the semolina?
You can, yeah. You can reuse it a couple times, but it does get a little wet, so you don't want to reuse it a bunch, but you can.
Okay.
So now we have our Gnudi kind of packed inside.
They're like not packed, they're submerged in
there. Yeah, or submerged. Yeah, they're not packed. Very light, very gentle. Okay. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna let this go overnight. It's a 24-hour process.
Beauty.
So if you're doing your dinner, you wanna plan this out. You gotta map it out. You gotta get ready a day ahead of time.
Yes.
You make these and then you're gonna pop them in your refrigerator and the next day you're gonna pull it out and you're gonna use them.
Yeah, they're gonna be perfect, ready to go. That's exactly what we did. We have our little swappity swap.
We'll flip them out. This is gonna be your dinner tomorrow.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm. So now we're pulling our Gnudi out of the fridge, right? And you can feel them nice.
Oh, wow.
See how they firmed up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So they're nice and firm. So the moisture from the ricotta cheese is sucked out by the semolina.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's almost like dehydrated a little bit.
Yeah, it sucks it out and then it forms the crust. And then I like to go over it one more time and just kind of give it, now that it's a little bit more firm, you can kind of make nice, easy balls with it.
Beauty.
Boom, now they're coming out. Yeah, and then you can get them nice and spherical. You kind of dust off the extra semolina. Those are looking good, feeling good.
All right, so I mean, we both like worked together for a very long time.
That's right.
I was coming in the bird, like green. You were leaving, ready to go, ready to rock. I know you spent time at the Strand House. After the Strand House, what happened? Like, where are you now? Like, what is it exactly that you're doing now? And like, what is it that you want to do?
For me, it was kind of that classic story.
Yeah.
COVID got me. Mm-hmm. Boom, shut the restaurant down, mandated, go sit on your couch and think about life. And that's kind of what happened. I sat on my couch, thought about life, and I was just thinking like, wow, I'm just working all the time in the restaurant, which I love. But I was thinking, there's so many art projects I have. I'm not surfing as much as I want to. I need a new adventure.
Yeah.
So I quit my job at the Strand House. I sold everything I owned, liquidated my entire life, and I moved to Costa Rica. And I've been in Costa Rica for 3.5 years. I reinvented myself as a sushi chef down there.
Absolutely.
I fish a ton, I surf a ton. I have all these cool art projects I'm doing now too. And I feel like I'm finally finding a balance in life.
Yeah.
Where I can do all the things that makes Austin happy.
Yeah, because when you're in the restaurant industry, there's not really much balance there.
Right.
There's a lot of demand.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah, and I
taxing.
think, yeah, totally. And like, you know, restaurants in the past, you know, is like, who worked the most? Who worked the hardest?
Yeah.
Who's the baddest on the line? Who,
Absolutely.
you know, who devoted their entire life to this? Mm-hmm. Which is cool, but at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not going out like that.
Right.
I have so many other outlets in life, and I think it really rejuvenated my soul. I don't feel burned out, ever. I haven't felt burned out in years. Like,
that's amazing though.
It's refreshing.
Because I do remember, you know, at the time, I definitely do remember you were at that point. Like, you would just be like, blah, blacked out. And just be like, blah. Like, going back to those days, I definitely think that, like, I see why you were like, I need a moment.
I need a timeout.
It feels like good to like see somebody like put their self first in the industry. And it's like, let me just like be at the ocean, live by the ocean.
Exactly.
And do what I want to do every day and fish and surf. Because like, that's what life is about. I feel like, especially now we're in the era of like, being a chef doesn't mean that you have to be working 80 hours.
Right. Or even in a restaurant.
Exactly.
You don't even have to be in a restaurant these days, which is mind-blowing to someone in their 40s. I'm like, you can be a chef and not be in a restaurant?
Exactly.
I'm like, cool.
But then again, there's also that thing for me. If somebody calls himself a chef and doesn't have any stripes in any restaurant industry, I'm a little bit like,
yeah.
But at the same time,
100%.
I mean, this is just like where we're at now.
Yeah.
This is where we're at now.
I think it's a cool time in cooking history, you know, where there's so many different avenues and outlets and things you can do and experiences you can have and food you can eat, and food's so globalized now too. Like, I think we're in a really cool, special time in the culinary world, and it's cool to be a part of it with you.
Yeah, right on. We're doing it. I mean, we're doing this Gnudi too, aren't we?
Yeah, you getting hungry?
Yeah.
You want to see these guys, our peeps?
Yeah, let's get into it. These are actually stunning. Our beautiful amatriciana sauce has been bubbling away for about 2 hours. Our Gnudi is rested and delicious and just kicking it and doing its thing. So right now we're gonna get into cooking our Gnudi, which is gonna be no time.
Yeah, and for our sauce right here, it's super classic in Italian cuisine. When you have any kind of tomato sauce, you just want to put a pinch of sugar, because tomatoes are really acidic, and just a tiny pinch of sugar is gonna like balance it out.
Beautiful.
So just the tiniest little pinch in there.
Yes, beautiful.
You'll see what I'm talking about.
Kind of balance that acid out.
Yeah, what do you think? Give that a taste.
I would love to give this a taste. Oh my gosh.
Don't burn your mouth.
I'll try not to.
Okay.
4 hours later.
What do you think? Right?
Delicious tomato on the front end. Funky guanciale in the middle. Heat on the back end. Sweetness on the back end.
Low sugar, right? Just delicious. A tiny bit.
Delicious.
Okay, cool. And then just like all our other pastas, right? We're gonna add some salt to our pasta water.
Beautiful.
That's looking good right there. Okay. Gonna give that a little stir.
When it comes to a Gnudi, I don't think you want it to be at a rapid boil either.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, these are like uber delicate.
Uber
Duber.
Yep.
Because the only shell on this pasta is just the semolina.
Yeah.
So you want to be very, very fragile with it. We're just gonna go boom like that.
Boom!
And then what I like to do is make a little beurre monte.
So a beurre monte is pretty much a butter sauce that is a emulsification between butter and water.
So
we're gonna make sure.
Go for it. Sorry.
You want to make sure you use cold butter when you're doing this.
That's very important, yes. Otherwise it's gonna separate.
Yeah.
So we're gonna use a little bit of our pasta water for this.
Beauty.
Okay. I'm gonna add the butter tea.
Yes, chef. Beurre monte is almost a very just classical French thing, right?
Yes. Look at that, it's doing its thing. Beauteous maximus. We'll turn that up right there.
All right, so our gnudi is tossed in beautiful in this beurre monte. We have our delicious amatriciana.
All right, so here we go. Yeah, it's been cooking down for about 2 hours, looking nice and tight. Looks like a nice kind of flavor explosion right there.
I love that. I like the julienne of the onion.
Right?
Yeah.
Gives it like
beautiful.
It gives it like a little bit of sweetness too, which I think you kind of need it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I'm gonna plate up our gnudis right here.
Beautiful.
Boom.
Boom. Oh my gosh, I love this plate too, by the way. These are actually from Italy.
Are they?
This is gorgeous. It almost looks like a pizza.
Kind of a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
It's a pizza pie.
Pizza party.
I'm gonna do like 5. I think odd numbers are good to work in. It's just aesthetically pleasing to the eye.
This is stunning, chef.
Thank you.
I can't believe we used to make this for like huge parties back in the day.
Like hundreds and hundreds of people.
He used to roll these nudis out like nobody's biz.
Getting nudie with Cobber. Boom, there we go.
Beautiful, chef.
Cool, all right. And then we're gonna finish it with a little bit of pecorino romano.
We love pecorino. Pecorino
it's kind of that, we're keeping that theme with the Romans and the Roman cheese.
Funky deliciousness.
Yep. Yeah, and pecorino romano is made from sheep's milk, so it does kind of have that funky.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we're gonna do a little bit of like.
This looks like a pizza.
I know, it does kind of look like a pizza, huh? We're gonna do a little bit of torn basil leaves in there.
Beautiful.
You wanna tear some in there?
Absolutely. We got a little EVOO. We got our pecorino cheese, basil, delish.
Basil, delish.
I mean, does this not look like
all your Italian food groups?
Something to get a little nudie for? Okay. I mean, this looks absolutely delicious. Visually stunning. I can't wait to try it. But before we break bread or break nudis, let's chit chat a little bit about where we are now and like the full circle and like what the vision is.
You know, obviously we cooked together, it was probably like 10 years ago maybe, was it?
Yeah.
About 10 years ago, and we were just on the show together, but we didn't talk a lot during the show, we were there to work. Now we're back, we're reunited, we're cooking with tea, cooking with Cobber.
Cobber.
What's next for Tiana?
Oh, next for Tiana, I mean, obviously pouring into Cooking with Tea, my channel, showing my teacup gang so much love, and just like pouring into like what I really love to do, which is entertain and cook. That's like what I've wanted to do since I was a kid.
Right.
Period. And I'm living that childhood dream now, pouring love into Soulfill as well, which is my pop-up where I celebrate Filipino soul food fusion.
I love that. It looks delicious, by the way. I've seen it on the internet. It looks I can taste the food through the screen. Yeah. It looks bomb.
So there's that, and I mean, just like, you know, my new travel segment, Travel with Tea. I love traveling the world and culture and community, and I think that's something that's like sings to my heart all the time. So I just want to continue to pour into that. Travel the world,
seeing how other cultures do it, get new flavors, new ideas.
Exactly.
What's your next travel segment?
So my next travel segment will be Travel with Tea to Bali.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to Bali. I'll be spending 3 weeks there. I'm going to be doing Ubud, Uluwatu, Canggu, Nusa Penida, and Cinnamon.
What do you know about food in Bali?
So I know that Bali has Bali's a very spiritual place, and they have a huge vegan community.
A lot of Buddhists there,
lots of Buddhists, lots of Muslims, lots of like funky flavors, kind of like a melting pot of flavors as well.
Okay.
Maybe one of these days I'll pull up to Costa Rica.
Yeah.
And we could do a Travel with Tea to Costa Rica featuring Cobber Man.
Absolutely.
We'll go fishing.
I'll take you a tour around the country.
What's the tea with you? Like, what has been, you know, up with you? What's next for you?
Yeah, I think, you know, trying to rediscover myself now that I've freed myself from the chains of the everyday norm and really just embracing my free spirit. And I'm trying to live every day like my last. And I really want to explore my art a little bit harder. I've been making these cool fish prints. So we go fishing, catch the fish, and then we're done. I make a print of them. So you make an indentation, get fabric, print them, pull it off, and it's basically like a trophy of your fish.
Yeah.
And then you can frame it in your house. I've been making these cool frames. And then every day you wake up and you look at the wall, you're like, hell yeah. I remember that fishing trip and I remember that fish, and it's the actual fish. So,
and by the way, you guys can purchase them down at the link below in the bio if you guys want to buy Chef Cobber's fish prints. They're super beautiful.
They are beautiful. Yeah, it's a cool experience. And so I've been putting a lot of time and effort in that, and pushing the sushi thing down in Costa Rica, which is really cool, especially once again, when you catch your own fish, when you catch your tuna, and then, you know, you're feeding the tribe, or you're doing these pop-up sushi parties for everything. We're Grande Sushi down in Playa Grande, Costa Rica. And, you know, we live in a very kind of rural, off the beaten path place. So it's kind of cool to bring some really nice culinary food down there to a place that isn't used to these flavors and techniques. So it's been really fun and been received well. And
I love that for you.
Putting my time and energy into that. You ready to get in there?
Okay, I mean, exercising simplicity in life.
Let's check it out, yeah.
This is delicious.
It's light, huh?
It just melts in your mouth.
Yeah.
I love those little bits of guanciale.
Me too.
They're the best. This is so good.
And so simple. How simple was that?
So simple. Gnudis are delicious. I mean, this is the perfect recipe. So if you want it, tap into the details below where you can find the recipe. You can tap in with Chef Austin Cobb on Instagram at Chef Austin Cobb.
That's it. Easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
We challenge you to make this dish at home.
And if you do, make sure to tag Chef Austin Cobb, Chef Tiana G, and hashtag cookinwithtee. And until next time, peace, love, and blessings.
Thank you guys. Have a blessed day.
Bye.